Hi everyone, thanks so much for being here. My name is Kat and I make houseplant videos here on Good and Planty. If you just so happen to absolutely love this video, please consider liking it, commenting, subscribing, or following me on Instagram. All of these things help me grow my channel like a plant. Let me move this so more center. So today we are going to look at common and pretty inexpensive plants that I like to keep in my home. I have 10 of them and most of them I think will be a little bit unexpected, so get excited and let's just jump right into it. The first plant on my list is the coffee plant. I don't know why more people don't talk about this plant. I feel like it's pretty easy to come by. I have seen it in Trader Joe's. I've seen it in my local nurseries, and I think I've even seen it in big box stores before. Definitely IKEA. But anyway, my point is it's really easy to come by, at least where I live. That's definitely one thing I want to mention. A lot of these are going to be subjective to where I live in the United States on the East Coast. I really love this plant. I think it's a more unique foliage heavy plant that can turn into a tree. It is a little bit more finicky, but since it is so vocal, I find it to be a pretty easy plant because I always know what he's thinking. So I absolutely love this plant. It grows pretty fast and I think everyone should have one. Okay, next up we have a recent addition to my houseplant collection, and that is the moon cactus. Look at her. So cute. Basically, these plants I find very interesting because they are actually two different plants grafted together. I could kind of do a whole video on how interesting moon cacti are, but they are also actually very controversial, and that's because the top little colorful cactus is not able to live on its own since it doesn't have chlorophyll, so they die pretty fast. However, the cactus on the bottom is grafted to the colorful bit because obviously it has chlorophyll, so it can sustain both of the plants. The reason this plant is a little bit controversial is because the care of the two don't really match, and the green part of the cactus actually can grow much bigger and much faster than the colorful part. So yeah, a lot of people don't like this plant because since they can't really grow and live that long together, you know, why buy it? But you can just snip off the colorful bit once the plant starts declining and then just grow the green cactus. I find it pretty interesting and it has a pop of color for now, and you can definitely find these at big box stores very easily, and I'm sure a bunch of other places. Next, I have a plant I'm just gonna get out of the way because we all know that I was gonna have one of these in this video, and that is my SYNGONIUM berry illusion. This plant, I love this plant for multiple different reasons. One, it's very easy to come by because it's a Syngonium podophyllum. Those are pretty easy to get. And it's such easy care. And on top of it, it's very inexpensive. So this plant is wonderful in my book. I have kept this plant in many different conditions and it has continued to grow and put out beautiful foliage. I really love the leaves when they first come in because they have this beautiful pink venation, which I think is why it's called the berry illusion. If you have questions about taking care of Syngonium, I have a whole video on that, so make sure to check it out. Next, we have a Rex begonia. Wow. Here's what we're working with. Very beautiful. Why am I putting a Rex begonia in this list when they are known to be a little bit harder to take care of? Well, it's not really specific to Rex begonia. I think begonia in general, if you're not looking at the really rare, expensive ones, are pretty accessible. And no matter what begonia you're looking at, they are known for their extravagant foliage. So you are definitely going to be pleased when picking up, you know, even a begonia at your local big box store. I got this one from Trader Joe's and I have been absolutely in love with it. It took me a little bit to really understand the care of this plant, but once I figured it out, it's been smooth sailing and I've gotten so much growth. It's amazing. Another bonus of this plant is that it's really easy to propagate. So I can see that this plant is growing really heavy on the left side or your right side. And now I kind of have this propagation in there to hopefully fill out the pot a little bit. And these leaves, are you kidding me? So beautiful. I love this plant. And honestly, a lot of begonias now. I've really gotten into begonias. Next on the list is one that I think is fairly accessible everywhere. I found it at my supermarket, so that's why it's in this list, but you can let me know if it's harder for you to find. It is the purple passion plant, which I have talked about before on this channel. I think that these plants get overlooked quite a bit. I'm not really sure why. Let me show you. I think they are gorgeous, unique, and pretty easy care. I've said it before, but the main tip that I have for these plants is to bottom water. They really are not a fan of getting water on their foliage. These are fun because the actual hairs on the plant is what makes it fuzzy and purple, but the leaves themselves are green. If you want a very vibrant purple plant, give it adequate light and you'll be good to go. Okay, next we do have a kind of a classic. This isn't really unexpected, but it is the Marble Queen Pothos. Everybody loves this plant and it is super common on these kinds of lists, but I can't help it. I absolutely have to include her. The fact that it has such stunning variegation at such a accessible and affordable price point is incredible, and you can absolutely find these at big box stores, IKEA, nurseries, whatever you want. And on top of it, since it is a pothos, it is super easy care. I would just give it a little bit more light than your average pothos because of the variegation. It will be fine in lower light, but you will probably lose a lot of that nice white. Let me show you a leaf so you can truly appreciate this plant. Hold on. Look! This plant is so beautiful, and I definitely got it for under $10 here, so I love her so much. Next up, we have a fast grower that I just can't get enough of. I love this plant endlessly, and it is my SCHEFFLERA arboricola. Guys, this plant is so easy and fast growing. I love this plant so much. And it's also just adorable. Look at these little new growth points. Oh, I lost a leaf. Okay, I'm not showing the new growth points, but it's very cute. Just take my word for it. Basically, these plants, you can get them in all different sizes. They do grow up to be a full tree. I did have one of those and I killed it, so I started off small and I got this in a 2-inch pot, and in less than a year I'm already at a 6-inch, so that kind of gives you an idea of how fast they grow. And you can kind of see that it's starting to harden off a little bit and give me a little bit of a trunk feel. I also love that these plants are pretty vocal. You can definitely feel the leaves to see if they are thirsty. They will bend really easily, and yeah, it's a pretty easy going plant, very beautiful and cute. I recommend that you bring it into your collection. It's so cute. Oh my god. Look at this. Okay, anyway. Next up we have the fastest growing plant in my collection, hands down. If you want a jungle in your room ASAP, you need this plant. Forget all the other plants I said. I know I said you need every plant, but this is the plant you need. The TRADESCANTIA ZEBRINA, and you can just already see how crazy this girl is. This plant is, first of all, stunning. Let me show you, as with all the other plants, because no plant is really ugly. Look at. She's very silvery and deep purple and reflective. Similar to the arboricola, I got in a 2-inch pot, and it has grown just tremendously from the one plant. Absolutely crazy for less than a year. These plants are also very easy care, so I'm saying watering maybe once or twice a week. It just does its thing. I would give it decent light because of the color, but if you put it in lower light, it'll just get a little bit more dull and less silvery. So basically, this plant is a dream if you want a hanging basket, or even if you put it on a shelf and let it cascade down. It's gorgeous. And on top of it, you can absolutely propagate this for trades or for gifts very, very easily. You won't even feel it. So I love the TRADESCANTIA ZEBRINA. It's an absolute wonder. Look at this thing. If you don't want the TRADESCANTIA ZEBRINA, I have 2 other varieties too, and they are also wonderful. I'm just gonna say it about TRADESCANTIA in general. They are magnificent plants, and I definitely want more. Okay, plant number 9 is the rubber tree, which is a classic for houseplant lovers, but for good reason. First of all, they are pretty accessible. I think that you can kind of find them. Oh my god, my spider plant is tickling my side. First of all, these plants are very accessible. I've seen them in a lot of different kinds of places places that I've talked about. On top of that, I do find them to be pretty easy care. You can let them dry out quite a bit, and their leaves will be kind of soft and wrinkly. Honestly, she might want water when you need to water them. They do absolutely need very bright light. This plant goes in my south-facing window and she needs it. I know typically the rule is like for darker foliage, they don't really need that much of light, but that is not true for these plants. This is an exception. So while I am saying it is easy care, you do have to keep in mind that it's only easy care if you have the right environment for the plant. This plant was actually a propagation, so if you are very into plants that are easy to propagate, I recommend the rubber tree. Thank you to Alana, my best friend, and her mom for giving me this plant. I absolutely love it. The other thing that I will say is that I love that these plants are very vertical, which is not very common for a lot of houseplants. If you have like an empty corner where you need to take up like that vertical space but you don't have a lot of width, absolutely go with a rubber tree. But you will need to dust these leaves. My leaves are very disgusting. Oh my god. Okay, and the last plant that I'm going to share with you all today is my euphorbia. Let me do a quick little close-up of this cutie. Very adorable. This plant is pretty chill. It's like a succulent. You don't have to water it too often. You do have to water it more than a cactus, but in general, these plants are very easy care if you have very bright windows. So this plant does sit in a south-facing window. I found this at IKEA for like $5 or something, and I find it to be like a very cute, unique plant to kind of like fill up a windowsill. I love the tiny little leaves that they have. It's so cute, and that nice pattern. Anyway, cuteness aside, very easy care, very affordable once again, and just put it in a terracotta pot with some like very chunky mix in a south-facing window and you're good to go. Okay, so that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment down below all of your favorite common houseplants. I tried to be a little bit more like original and fun with mine, but there are plenty to choose from. If you don't subscribe already, please consider doing so because it really helps my channel grow, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!